Thank you very much for your kind words, Sherry. It is an honor to participate in CUFI's annual summit on behalf of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations. We have worked closely with you in CUFI for many years, and we cannot thank you enough for your commitment to the cause of Israel. The importance of Christian support for the Jewish state cannot be overstated. For many years, devout Christians across the nation have been the base of America's steadfast support for Israel. With more than 8 million members who all stand shoulder to shoulder with Israel and the Jewish people, CUFI is definitively a force to be reckoned with. On behalf of the Conference of Presidents, thank you all for standing up and speaking out for Zion's sake. The Conference of Presidents is the umbrella organization of more than 50 American Jewish organizations from across the religious, political, and ideological spectrums, and the vehicle through which our Jewish community speaks with one voice. As the indispensable Jewish organization, uniquely positioned to represent literally every facet of our community, we play an essential role in endeavoring to present a united front on issues of concern to the Jewish people. Needless to say, a primary focus and concern of the conference is the vital role it plays in the ongoing fight against anti-Semitism, which has become an increasingly urgent issue in America and around the world. In America, long regarded as a safe haven for oppressed Jewish communities that fled the old world for the new, it had been taken for granted for generations that the cancer of anti-Semitism had been excised from the hearts and minds of Americans. There were warning signs when Jewish cemeteries across the country were desecrated and synagogues across the nation were vandalized. Then the Age of Innocence came crashing down in the fall of 2018 when the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in American history claimed the lives of 11 innocent people who were murdered simply because they were Jewish. The senseless carnage wrought upon the congregants at the Tree of Life Synagogue was not only a blow to the sense of safety and security of the Jewish community of Pittsburgh, but to all American Jews. The spring 2019 attack in Poway, California, reinforced this new reality in America. What followed was an unthinkable spike in hate crimes against the Orthodox community of Brooklyn, where at times several physical and verbal attacks would occur in the span of just 1 week. The fact that Jews would be routinely targeted because of their faith in the center of Jewish life in America, New York City, was beyond belief. Finally, last December, we witnessed a horrific and brutal assault on a Hanukkah gathering in Muncie, New York, which further punctuated the dire stakes for our community. The ADL recently reported that nearly 2 out of 3 American Jews feel less safe today than we did a decade ago. Over 50% of us have experienced some form of anti-Semitism in the past 5 years, and 20% of us have been personally targeted by anti-Semitic comments, slurs, or threats. And these numbers, shocking as they are, do not take into account the anti-Semitic response to COVID-19, which has come from across the political and religious spectrum. For years, American Jews have focused on fighting new anti-Semitism, which has used anti-Zionism as a cover for hatred targeted at Jews. We have poured resources into fighting this threat on campuses and over the internet, while working with local, state, and federal legislatures to shore up support against the delegitimization of Israel. And I might add, we've worked closely with CUFI in those efforts in state capitals and the Capitol here in Washington to endeavor to move forward those efforts. During that time, old anti-Semitism remained semi-dormant, and we had hoped that it would fade into the past. Unfortunately, the events in Pittsburgh and Poway, Brooklyn and Muncie have shaken any faith we had that the old stereotypes had vanished. In COVID-19, we find a striking reemergence of classic anti-Semitic tropes about Jews and plague, drawn directly from the Middle Ages. As my colleague Malcolm Hoenlein says, what was old is new again. While my references to the experiences of the American Jewish community, this phenomena is not limited to our shores. Jews around the world feel more threatened by anti-Semitism. Attacks in Germany and France and Belgium, communal insecurity in South America, anti-Semitic BDS activities on college campuses, as well as the saga of Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party, clearly demonstrate that anti-Semitism, Jew hatred, is an international epidemic, calling into question the post-Holocaust paradigm of never again. As a society, we cannot accept this as the new status quo. We must learn from these tragedies and work to prevent further incidents. When anti-Semitism rears its ugly head, words and condolences are not enough. In order to fight it, we need an organized, unified response. There must be action from all sectors of government and society. We must ensure that the response comes not just from Jews, but from non-Jewish leaders and influential people the world over. We should not be alone in the fight against the world's oldest hatred, but coming together, I am certain we can neutralize it. Thank you again for this opportunity to address the summit today. I look forward to next year when we can celebrate here in person in Washington, or, God willing, in Jerusalem.